It's yours truly, Dr. AJ Austin, sitting out on the front porch. Okay, so if you hear a lot of birds chirping, cars driving by, neighborhood mom just had to pull her crying baby away because he didn't want to leave the front yard. So, welcome. Let's talk about grants while I put on some sunscreen here and some bug repellent because I don't want to get ate up. But how are you guys? I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Hope all is well. I hope you're looking for grants. I said, it's a great day to be looking for grants. It's almost the top of a new month, which is when grants are released. So let's talk about that because our last few lives, we've been talking about the grant resume. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that. If you want me to kind of break it down for you, I'm happy to do that. Um, but you need to start pulling your things together and start applying for as many grants as you can, especially before the end of the year. We are well over how many months into the year, right? And grants are about a 90-day time frame. And so if you start it now, it's possible to start hearing back from grants about if you won, when you can expect your check, all that good stuff well before the end of the year. So that's my favorite. So I have personally gotten in at least one application in the last week. You definitely have to stay on your toes about getting applications in and keeping them in. And so that's what I'm here to encourage you guys to do. But first, tell me about your business. This is for Black women, for-profit small business owners seeking grants for their Black woman-owned for-profit small business. Do you have a business? If so, tell me about her in the chat. What I mean is just you can put the name of the business, you can put what you do. But this is part of the information that goes on a grant resume. And when I say resume, your resume isn't something that you're going to turn in per se to the grant, but it's a way to keep up with everything that you have accomplished in your business, plus the vision that you see for where your business is going to go. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Hey, Cindy, I see you, girl. I'm Dr. AJ Austin, creator of this page, Black Women in Grants. So make sure you follow this page and turn your notifications on so you can know when we go live. Also, over at blackwomeningrants.com, I have a year-long mentorship program for those of you who really want to start taking grants seriously this year. Let me get some water. Oh, I forgot my neighbors behind me are building, so you may hear a lot of hammering. Excuse me. So I'm in Georgia. The heat is sweltering. I'm sitting on the porch because I got cabin fever. I've been in the house, and I wanted to sit outside and talk to you. So real quick, tell me about your business in the chat if you can. Do you have a business? Are you thinking of starting one someday? Because that can help me to let you know where grants may come into play. So if you're here as a Black woman for-profit small business owner, I would love to know what you do in your business. Now, the type of business grant you apply to is going to depend on not necessarily what you do in your business, but where you are in your business. For example, if you're in the startup phase, where you're just getting started, or you're still in the idea phase and you're fleshing things out, you're going to need a whole nother type of grant than someone who has already started. So that's why I wanted to hear from those of you who have businesses so I can help you know what types of grants you should be applying to. Even if you've been applying to grants already, you want to double check and make sure that you're applying to the right grant. So real quick, in the chat, tell me if you're a startup business or a started business. And what that means is startup, as I mentioned, is still in your head. It may be in a journal. It may be, random pieces of paper in your home office. It may be on your laptop. This is where your ideas are floating around. And you still haven't done much with those ideas, but you're looking to get your business started someday soon. you're in the stage what we call pre-revenue. And then for those of you who have started, it really doesn't matter how long you've been in business necessarily. Some grants will ask how long you've been in business. But for the most part, if you've been in business, you're making money, you're making a difference, you qualify for a lot of the grants that I get access to over at blackwomenandgrants.com that are looking for those of you who are looking for a leg up, some financial assistance, and some support monetarily to help you either get started or keep going in your business. So let me see what we got in our chat. Hold on, we got somebody doing a drive-by by the house. I hate when people ride slow by my house. I don't know, nobody over here. Okay, so Tammy started a business with no real revenue. Okay. Cindy has started. Miss B has started, like filed it, but honestly still trying to bring it all to life. Got it. Okay. So you guys are in a perfect place for startup grants. Have y'all heard of startup grants? I know Cindy has. She is one of our mentees over at blackwomenandgrants.com, reaping the benefits of learning all about the startup phase, what types of grants to be applying for, how to find those grants, what to say on those grant applications to start winning. We have another student, Ashley Rankin, who has been with us since June of last year. And I know when she joined us, she was in another program, so she waited, and then she joined us in the mentorship. And she studied. We have 24 hours worth of content. We have videos and audios and a book I wrote on how to find funding. And so when she finally finished the first program, started focusing on the mentorship, read the book, and did what it told her to do, 90 days later, she's almost at $20,000 in grants and grant funded opportunities that she's won. So I'm so excited because if you really take what you do seriously, if you really want some help with not only getting started and getting your idea out there, but getting funding, because the most recent funding she won was for something that she's in the process of launching, so she just needed partnership behind it in addition to funding. And so I can't wait for us to share more about our winners, like Deanna Joy. She's won a total of $76,000. And she too had already started her business, but she came in, read the book, learned some stuff, and went out and won. So now she just applied for her first $1 million, and she just helped one of her clients upgrade to all MAC products in their business. And y'all know that ain't cheap, right? So she did all that with what she learned about grants. So it's okay if you haven't started yet. It's okay if you've been started but you haven't made money yet. That just helps you to determine what types of grants you should be applying to. And so if you're in that pre-revenue phase, meaning no money has been made yet, and you haven't really launched that idea yet, you need to be looking for what's known as startup grants. Put startup grants if you know that's the type of grant you need. A startup grant is just like what it sounds. It helps you to get started. So those types of grants or grant funded opportunities may come with the chance for you to join coaching programs, get some mentorship, go through some trainings that'll help you do things like flesh out your idea, get your business plan together, start developing your brand, really start to do the research that's necessary to carry out that idea. And so over at blackwomenandgrants.com, I have a list of 8 different programs that meet that criteria that will help you walk out the different parts of what you need to be doing with your business. So for example, this time last year when I was thinking of launching Black Women in Grants here on TikTok, I went through 25 of those types of programs. I really needed to sit with my idea, flesh out the little details, meet with people to hold me accountable, get some coaching and mentorship, do some masterminding, get some support, be pouring into and ask questions about these ideas. And lo and behold, a year later, we went from 400 of you guys here on TikTok to now almost 66,000 of y'all here. We have 280 of you guys in the mentorship over at blackwomenandgrants.com. We've made almost 6 figures, and I work very, very, very little for health reasons. And so I share all that because programs like this can be very beneficial and they are free. Did y'all hear me? You gotta come close to the phone because I'm whispering. It's FREE. So check out blackwomenandgrants.com. I picked out my top 8 out of the 25 that I've been through. So that's about a third of the programs I've been through. I learned a lot, and I'm sharing with you guys my lessons learned in addition to what to look for in programs like this. If you're in that startup phase, you need help fleshing out that idea that's going to lead you to pitching for funding and knowing what you're talking about, feeling confident in that process. Head over to blackwomeningrants.com and come join us in the mentorship. Now, for those of you who have started and you're like, I know I got a good idea for my business, product, or service. I just need some, again, support. I need to be surrounded by a sister circle, a mastermind. I need to flesh out some of these ideas for how to grow, how to make more money. You also need to be able to check off your list that you've done all the research of a startup. So even if you've started, you should be able to say you've done all the things that a startup needs to do. You're checking that off your list, right? And then you're moving forward with the growth process, because you can't move forward if you don't have the foundational principles, the basics covered. And so in the mentorship, I give you what's known as the 5-step grant guide. And in the grant guide, it brings together 2 checklists. One is for those of you who haven't started yet, and another is for those of you who have started. But like I mentioned, the started people need to be able to check off the startup list, and then the startup people will have something to look forward to with the started checklist, if that makes sense. So you're kind of looking back, revisiting, making sure all your bases are covered, your boxes are literally checked as a started business. And then startup, you know what to look forward to when you start growing and making money. Hopefully this is helping. Is this giving you guys some aha moments, a little bit of peace that, again, it's okay. If you haven't launched yet, it's okay. If you haven't been in business long, it's okay. If you've been in business and haven't been making money, there are grants to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And just like anything, we're looking for opportunities and support, and sometimes it looks a little different than we imagined. So maybe it's not about you applying for tons of grants and trying to win checks that way. Maybe it's about partnering with programs that are already in place, that already has funding available to give you a scholarship, to let you in for free, to come learn about growing your business even more, or launching your business finally, and then you take the next step to applying for grants. And so it's all under grants and grant funded opportunities, and that's what I teach you over at blackwomeningrants.com in our mentorship, when it comes to finding funding to help you start and grow your Black woman-owned for-profit small business. So hopefully this is helping kind of give you guys some ideas, give you some encouragement, little motivation, and letting you know. Kizzy says she started business partnerships in Martial Arts Academy. She said exactly what she needs. Yes, girl. It could be. So the grant world is a lot of fun to me. That's why I had to take some time, go through it myself, and then start sorting it out. So one thing I have been awarded for and bragged on for as a trainer, I'm a trainer by profession, that's what my degree is in, is that I could take a complex situation where it's a lot of information and it can be overwhelming to most people, but I'm going to take my time and sort through it. I'm that person. And so with the grant world, I have figured out that all you need to do is understand where you stand in it, meaning what type of help you need from it, because it can be overwhelming, especially if you're coming from a place where you don't know a lot about it. Most people think that you have to be a nonprofit to get a grant, and you don't. Most people don't know that for-profits can get the same amount of money that nonprofits get. Most people don't know that nonprofits are excluded from a lot of the for-profit grants. And so we have an advantage. All we have to do is just be educated on that process. So I have piece by piece broken down the grant industry. I tell you about the nonprofit world. We don't teach that, but I definitely go over the basics of the differences between nonprofit grants, for-profit grants. We talk about businesses that don't qualify for grants. That's a good one. It's hard for me to talk about that here on TikTok because it involves words that get us blocked and reported for violations. Not cuss words or anything, but just words you really can't say in front of kids and stuff. So all of that's over at blackwomeningrants.com in the mentorship, because you need to know what they are. Like, one thing would suck is if you spend all this time applying for grants for a business that absolutely does not qualify. So it can seem overwhelming. It can seem like a lot of information, but not when you know where you're standing. Just think of it like this. When you're going into college for the first time, you come in as a freshman, right? So you're taking only freshman courses. So that's what I look at with my work. I have been called a professor. And right here where you are with me, this is called Grant Prep Academy, or GPA, which, remember, GPA is back in school, right? So we're here trying to get our GPA up. And even with the work that I do in my mentorship, we've split that into levels, because the freshman level is where you're going to start, especially if you've never applied for a grant, if you've never looked for grants, if you've never won a grant. And so starting at what we call level 1, which is a future grant winner, that's going to help you to understand and start taking in the information on a basic level so that you're not overwhelmed, you don't break down, you don't give up. You might need a nap or two. I'm speaking from experience as I was putting this information together. But once you start to understand it, once you start to apply the information, once you start to win your first grant or grant funded opportunity, anything from a scholarship to a small business pitch competition to a flat out grant check being written to you, then you're ready to graduate and move to level 2, which is grant winners. And that's a more advanced learning track of grants. So it's, again, my interpretation of breaking down the grant industry so that it's not overwhelming and we can take it in small bites, start to understand us, our business, what that has to do with grants, where we could use grants, what grants cover, what they don't cover, whether or not you can actually have grants taken away. Girl, it's a lot, but we talk about it over at blackwomenandgrants.com so that you don't just stay in a state of overwhelm and like, can I do this? Should I do this? Is this legit? Can I really qualify? Can I really win? Do I see this being a part of my work in my business? So hopefully all of that makes sense, which is why I stick with the for-profit side of this, because a lot of us, especially as Black women for-profit small business owners, don't know these opportunities exist. And I'm here reaping the benefits of all of it. Like, I'm actually going through withdrawal right now because I've done all the programs. I've done all the work. And I'm in a place where it's worked for me. I'm teaching it. I'm sharing it. I'm still out applying and winning. But now I get to enjoy you guys starting from where you currently are and growing. So that's really exciting for me, seeing someone's light bulb go off like, oh, so I shouldn't be just applying for any and everything that comes my way. Okay. I should be applying for this type of grant. Oh, I shouldn't just be asking, is there a grant for my business? Because the answer is yes. We turned that question from, is there a grant for my business, to a statement that there is a grant for your business. It doesn't really matter what type of business you have. It matters that you're Black, that you're a woman, and that you're for profit. So we cover all of that to make sure you know what your business could look forward to in the grant space, and you're not so stressed out, because it can be a lot. The good news is that the normal investment for hanging out with me for a whole year and getting mentored on grants is usually $997. Someone just paid that on Friday or no, Thursday. But we have a scholarship fund for those of you who want to get started, test the waters, watch this work for you. You can get started and join us for a full year for only $97. So that's over at www.blackwomenandgrants.com. That's our scholarship that'll get you in for only $97 for a whole year. And there's Klarna and there's Afterpay. So if you want to go there, check that out. Look at all the goodies and the bonuses, like the interviews with our grant winners, picking their brains, asking questions that you need to know the answers to, like how to win like them. I've interviewed someone involved in the grant world. She had a $100,000 grant opportunity and they were seeking applicants. And so I talked with her, and then I did a recording of the call for you guys as far as sharing my notes about that call and what that means for us as Black women seeking grants. They're seeking us. And the sad part is, if they don't have enough applicants that look like us apply, y'all ain't gonna believe it, but I've heard that they give it to men. So if men are out there applying for opportunities that are supposed to be ours, we got to find out where these opportunities are and go make sure our name is in the hat, because that ain't right? So what questions can I answer for those of you who are hanging out and have questions about anything we've talked about so far, as far as the type of grants that are available, what type of grants you should be applying to, what that means on a foundational level. If you have been applying for grants and you've even won one and you are a grant winner officially, then you want to be honing in on those skills as to what it takes to repeat the process. It should never just be a one and done type thing just to like scratch that itch. If you got a secret sauce that has worked before, keep going. I remember talking to a lady who told me she had won $10,000. She was looking to make more money in her business, but she didn't want to keep applying for the grants, which I thought was crazy. She was just not really open-minded to that process. She wanted to get there quicker. And I know the way to get there quicker, but she just wasn't open, and I don't believe in trying to help people who don't want to be helped. So I was like, oh, okay, you win, you right. Bye, girl. So anyway, if you're here with an open mind, open heart, open spirit, open notebooks, ready to learn, then this opportunity is for you. And again, the website is www.blackwomenandgrants.com. Come join us for $97. And if you have a question, now is a great time to get that question answered. If not, child, I'm sitting here in one spot in the shade, sweating, trying to get some sun, as my doctor recommends. But I'm gonna go in the house in a minute. I just wanted to sit here and chat with you guys. If this chat has helped you, do me a favor and share it real quick. Share this live, and let's get some more people in the room who need to be a part of the conversation. And if they come in and join us and have questions, I'm happy to hang out with you longer. If not, we can wrap it up, and I'll see y'all soon. This was just a quick pop-up live for me to share a little bit with you on this Saturday. I know my numbers tend to be a little bit lower when I'm off camera, but I do the best I can, you know. So we did an on-camera appearance last week, and it took a lot out of me. So here we are doing the audio, hanging out with you guys on the front porch, getting ready to wrap it up. So any final questions before I go, let me know. Thank you for sharing, Cindy, and being here, girl. I appreciate you. You got any questions, any aha moments, anything that I can clarify for you? I know you learn every opportunity you get, and that's a great sign of a future grant winner, girl. No questions? Okay. So thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you very, very soon. Have a phenomenal rest of your day. God bless. Bye, future grant winner.